Good day everyone, it's Orf here, and it's time to review an album. Oh boy. Today we're looking at the self-titled album from the English singer-songwriter known as YUNGBLUD. Before this was released, I had only ever heard of him through features and collaborations on tracks by other artists, and he seemed like a pretty okay vocalist. He can add a good bit of flair to his voice. And from what I can tell at his live shows, he seems to have the energy to sing in tune for more than an hour at a time. It's also very apparent that he has this Gerard Way of MCR type of persona to him. Didn't really notice a huge range in his vocals, but again, it seemed like he does a serviceable job, and it looks like he has felt confident enough to release a self-titled album with almost no features on it. So with this record we can get an idea of who YUNGBLUD is and what he really sounds like. And if this is the best he can do, like if this is the most YUNGBLUD record that YUNGBLUD can release, then I don't really have any intentions of ever really listening to his music ever again. I thought that Lauv was lacking in the creativity department when I reviewed All for Nothing, but this is atrocious. First of all, what the hell is going on with the production on this record? The vocals are layered when they shouldn't be, they're oversaturated, and the instrumentals are just flat out uninteresting. I mean, there's nothing going on to back up the vocals that could stand on its own, like nothing. I would say that about 70% of this entire album is just one giant half-assed copy of Boys of Summer by Don Henley. Yes, I'm not kidding, like 8 of the 12 tracks on this record sound like they're trying to imitate that one song. I guess the song that does it the best in this style might be The Funeral. And it's listenable, but these lyrics are so cringeworthy, and I don't know, it just feels like he's trying way too hard to force emotion into it. But when he's not doing that, it feels like he's ripping off other current pop artists. Cruel Kid sounds like he's trying to be Shawn Mendes, but then he thinks people might notice, so he tries to change it up just enough for it not to be seen that way, you know, like copying someone's homework. Die for a Night is another one of the only songs on here that doesn't make me want to plug my ears immediately, but again, just sounds like a shameless redo of an older Ed Sheeran song. And I Cry Too, I can't believe I'm saying this, sounds like he's doing a watered down clone of a Lauv song, but somehow makes it even more emotionless. And the auto-tune in this track is unbearable. The song Memories contains the only feature on this album, which is Willow. I think her delivery is pretty cringeworthy, but she at least has a much larger vocal range than YUNGBLUD does, or at least she demonstrates it better. Did YUNGBLUD even hear the production at the end of Tissues before this was released? Like, is this a guitar solo at the end? Because if it is, this is some of the worst guitar tone I've ever heard. But if it is a synthesizer, then they would have gotten a better sound by just picking a standard lead preset, like any preset. But in any case, the production is just so unbelievably messy and staticky anyway. How does this record have 12 songs on it, but it only runs for 33 minutes? If anything, I can thank YUNGBLUD for making it that way, because usually bad pop songs tend to run for at least 3 minutes, making them more repetitive. So thank you, YUNGBLUD, for not making me have to listen to most of these songs for more than 2.5 minutes. I mean, this is the prime example of pandering to the most general teenage girl audience. As if YUNGBLUD's entire personality has not changed since he was 13 years old. And he does not stop talking about himself on this record, how he cries, how he's got a fucked up soul. It screams cash grab to me, honestly. And it's like he just found one of those websites where you press a button and it generates a random popular pop chord progression. And most of the time he just slaps those chords on top of an uppity beat, usually with some hand claps, some sing-along vocals. Shy Away by 21 Pilots, Caution by The Killers, Overpass Graffiti by Ed Sheeran. 2/3 of this album is just doing that the same way, but worse. I'm not even saying that all of those tracks are good or original either, because I have my problems with each of them as well, but this feels like it's catering even more to the radio. 2/3 of the album has this same beat. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of people that might enjoy this kind of thing, but there is nothing new on this record. Every single lyric, beat, every moment of this album has been done by somebody else previously and done better. If anything, I can tell that YUNGBLUD does appreciate a lot of great artists, but I can't help but feel that his execution is just a very very watered down version of the artists that influence him without changing or creating anything new. Yeah, that's how I feel about this one. I'm pretty set in my ways. Oh, another thing I can credit YUNGBLUD for is I feel like he's constantly wearing black leather pants. Like, isn't that like really uncomfortable? Wouldn't that get sticky? I don't know. Good job, I guess.